last year.
Do you have any specific players on your list here? That
I made my list.
Yes. So let's talk about it.
I mean, I'm an offensive guy, so I always kind of tend to want to talk about scoring points because it sounds a lot more fun to score points than to stop points. But as far as people I liked, I've looked at Theo Howard, who's now enrolled at UCLA, but I've met him and he is an unbelievable person. And I think Bruin Nation is lucky to have him, not only as a player, because I know he'll be successful on the field, but as a person, he is going to be exactly what we want and exactly the mold of what we want a true Bruin to be. But when I watched him on tape, I saw he was fast and explosive downfield. He's going to give us a lot of defenses, a lot of problems, because he's going to be able to blow the top off of defense. And he's going to be a certain asset for Josh Rosen. He's going to love throwing the ball downfield to him. But beyond being able to run fast, he also kind of has that ability, kind of like Jordan Payton had, where you can't tell if he's slowing down or speeding up. And it makes it hard for a defensive back to really guard somebody when they can't tell the speed, they can't tell when the cut's going to come. And so he is a dynamic threat. And I know I'm speaking a lot before we see him play, but I promise you on Saturdays you'll be just as impressed as I am already with him.
Nice. We have a lot of new toys in the offense. Dimitri Felton, Damon Alloway is going to add. I like Jalen Starks. Kid's, what, 240 right now already? I saw a couple of highlights of his at Crespi. He runs like a locomotive. Now, with a year in the strength and conditioning program, he tightens up. This kid is going to be a prototype fullback for Pola's offense.
No, and I know the fullback's a new addition to the offense this year, especially one that's always designated to be a fullback. But no, I agree. I think he's going to be an unbelievable asset. He already looks like he's been in the weight room since he was 4 years old. I keep telling my mom and dad, I blame them that I don't look like that I'm not all yoked and stuff like that. But he's going to be an unbelievable talent. I'm not sure if we want him to get any bigger, just stronger. You stay the exact same way you are, and you make sure you hit that full or the linebacker right in the mouth, and you make sure we get that first down. And so I know he'll be an unbelievable asset to the team. And you know, beyond the fullback, a new addition to the offense this year is kind of a tight end position. You know, with Mazzoni, we were a lot of 3 wide receivers or spread offense, but we didn't have a lot of down tight end formations. We did a little bit of it against Nebraska. We saw success on the first drive of the game when we hit Thomas Duarte as a down tight end for a touchdown. And so I think it'll be an unbelievable addition to the offense. And I know we have this kid, Jordan Wilson, this year coming out of Nashville, Tennessee, who is a huge pickup. He reminds me a lot of the tight end who just played for Alabama. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. O.J. Howard, right? O.J. Howard, who scored who had the big 80-yard run at the end of the game, and he had another 2 touchdowns. And he has a lot of the same attributes. You know, he plays a lot with his hands. He can get guys off it with his length, and he also uses his size. If you watch him play, he always keeps the ball above his head. You know, with the 6'5" frame, that helps you when you're playing undersized safeties that we see a lot in the Pac-12. And I expect him to be a huge addition to the offense this year. And if he doesn't play this year, he will be a big-time Bruin down the line.
Let's not forget special teams, because Coach Mora recruited and signed 3 great new special teams players. We got a new long snapper, a new
Johnny Den,
and we have someone that's going to replace Kaiden.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the holder, everybody?
The holder? I don't know. They can't replace me, you know. It's one of those things. I always say be humble. I seriously believe I was the best holder in the country, and I will do my best to make sure the next guy is even better than me. But right now, we keep pumping out Lou Groza winners, and as much as we want to say we've got great kickers like we do, because Kaini is everything that he has advertised, the best I've ever been around, but we've got great holders too.
Tell us about
make sure we give the holders enough credit.
Tell us about your 60-yard field goal.
So you bring up the 60-yard field goal, and so it shouldn't have been 60. It should have been 55. We end up jumping off sides, and you know, it's the end of the half, and so I figure why not? We've made 66 in practice before. And so, and it's always deceiving in practice, because now that we're on IM field, the goalpost is always 5 yards beyond the end line. So a 55-er is really 60, and a 60 is really 65. So I knew he had the leg, and they kept rushing on a Hail Mary. I was like, what on earth are we going to Hail Mary here for? That won't work. Just let me kick it. And I said a few expletives that I probably shouldn't repeat, but as the story goes, it was the most perfect sounding kick as I heard. And as I remember as we were celebrating, the funniest part of the whole story is that I was running him off the field so that no one else could celebrate with him, and he got all mad at me in the locker room. He's like, why didn't you let people jump on me? I was like, if anybody hurt you, we have no one to replace you. I'm running you off the field to make sure you're safe. That is my job. And, you know, he is a tough act to follow, but I know we have J.J. Molson, who hails from Canada, our second Canada import on the team, but he is going to be very good. He's got just as much a leg as Kaimi does, and I know he's got a lot to work on as far as accuracy and adjusting to the American game, but go watch his highlight tape. He's kicking at poles in his highlight tape and hitting them from 45 yards away. We are in good hands, and we're going to continue the tradition of great special teams at UCLA.
And we got a new punter.
A new punter as well, Austin Kent. Austin Kent from Charlotte, North Carolina, who should be the heir apparent to Jeff Locke. And you know, I think accuracy more than distance is important for a punter, because very often we need him to pin it inside the 5 instead of the 15. And I know everyone acts like it should be that easy, but to get a ball to go 40 yards in the air, stop, and roll back one is a very tough feat to ask a punter to do. And I think Austin Kent will be ready for the challenge, and I look forward to what he brings to the team.
Okay, what about Darian Owens? Because we've seen photos of him, and the guy is just ripped. Offense or defense?
I think offense. I think offense. You know, you can always use bodies like that on offense because as you see, the game of college football is changing a little bit. You know, wide receivers are getting smaller and faster, and even in the NFL game, we don't have the Keyshawn Johnsons or anything like that anymore. So having a big body on like that on offense is crucial for you on third down situations because it allows you to gain separation on man-to-man coverage, and you're allowed. I mean, I know you're not supposed to push off, but you push off. And when you got muscles like that to be able to push somebody off just a little bit to get the half inch we need to get the first down, he is going to be invaluable on the offense, and I look forward to see what he can do.
If any of you have a question for Jared, come on up here in front. This gentleman has a question.
Shannon, do you have any Guns N' Roses?
Last year you killed it. Yeah, you killed it last year.
I did. Well, let me just give you a little air guitar. Okay,
Yeah.
you guys ready? Is this what you want?
Yes.
No. Last year you killed it
Air
singing it.
guitar right here. Right? Leg up, and then you strum like this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Living on a prayer.
Yeah.
Anybody else have a question for Jared? Come on up. Right here.
Thank you.
What's his role going to be next year?
His role? Well, he was.
First of all, you know it's a real talented singer when she can echo herself out at the end of it. That's unbelievable. They don't teach that. They don't. That's just natural star talent. But the question was, what will my role be next year? And to be honest with you, I don't know. You know, I've got a lot of things going on right now, and it's kind of this weird balance of trying to find some time off and to enjoy life before we get back into the grind of football. And it's also about finding a good place for me to call home. So I know I will always be a Bruin forever. Even if I don't end up there next year, I'll be back. Trust me, you can't get rid of me. I'll be back here next year, I've already promised. I'll be back here next year, but eventually I guarantee you'll see a sweater vest on the sidelines head coaching once again.
Is there anybody else with any questions for Jared? Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up. He's got an appointment he's got to attend to. Anybody else with questions, come on up right now. Here's your chance to ask Jerry a question that may be burning inside of you.
Hey, Bob, what was the play call on the pass to JP versus Texas?
The question was, what was the pass called against Texas? It is the greatest play that's ever been called in the history of college football. It is trio right, 91 sluggo. And how it goes is, basically you have a sluggo to the single receiver side. And so we walked out, we just returned the punt, everyone's going nuts. Camera judge just knocked somebody into the 4th grade on the sidelines. And so you know, everyone's going nuts, and I get the call and I go, you know what, we've been asking for this all game. We've been getting single coverage all game to the single receiver side, and so I was ecstatic. And ecstatic when I got behind center and I realized I did get the single coverage. So I saw the safety was sitting right over the top of me, and I knew if I could work him with my eyes just a little bit, I could get just enough space to throw this throw. And then I wanted to use a pump fake to get the corner to bite. I knew he'd been looking at me all game. So we called the snap. I looked the safety off for one step. I looked over to JP, and I pumped it as hard as I possibly could without losing the ball. And I let go. I thought it was just an average pass, but it ended up being a touchdown, and the rest is history. And you know, it was an unbelievable game, and you know, I thought they were only going to carry Rudy off the field, but for them to put me up on their shoulders would be an unbelievable experience I'll never forget.
You and your family and I were shedding a tear, but there were a lot of Bruin fans shedding a tear for you.
Well, that's the most unbelievable part about it. Is that, you know, I've only played in one serious game. I've got to play at the end of a game, and I hold for all the kicks. But you know, for the Bruin Nation to take me in and treat me as they have, and for me to be one of the family, you know, it is an unbelievable thing that I can't really describe in words. But it makes me so gracious to be a Bruin, and I know I'll do anything I can for this university, and anything I can for Bruin Nation for the rest of my life.
Let's give Jerry a big rousing hand clap to wind this up. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. UCLA, fight, fight, fight.
And I have to thank you guys all for having me here today. I know it's very few times they let a guy who just graduated come talk about the next recruiting class. And so for you guys to have me here today to talk about recruiting and just hang out for a little bit, I'm back. I'm back.
He's back next year.
I'm back. If you guys will have me, I'll be back. But I can't thank you enough, and thank you for having me, and I can't wait for next year. I know the recruiting class will be even better.
This is a lifetime commitment. UCLA is a
lifetime commitment, and I'm signed on the letter of intent. I'm Bruin for life.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Well, we're going to wrap it up, but before we do, I want to do one thing. I want to thank all the Bruins and the bros that couldn't make it here tonight. Thank you, guys. Guys like Deja and guys like Huff couldn't make it here tonight. But I really want to thank Westwood Bob, my longtime season ticket partner, a great friend, one of my very best friends. And thank you, Bob, for arranging the event. Pally Bruin, John, I know you're here tonight. Thank you, John, Pally, and Jerry. Couldn't thank you enough.
We need one more A clap for Westwood Bob.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, UCLA, fight, fight, fight! Yeah, boy!
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Steve, my
You gotta call me. Make sure.
I'm so glad that you were front and center. I'm gonna